Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
We're ready for the event.
In Fayette County Public Library, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Astronaut Jack Fisher, this is Eric Maxwell from the Fayette County, Georgia Public Library. How do you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir. How do you hear me?
I hear you wonderful. Welcome!
Woohoo! How's everybody doing today?
We are doing great, and we are so excited to speak with you live from the International Space Center. We have 20 students who are eager to ask questions, and first up we have Orion Gloucester.
Will you go to Mars, and how long will you stay in space?
Well, buddy, first off, that's a great name. That's actually the name of our vehicle that's going to take people to Mars. I think I'm going to be a little bit too old, but the class that we just selected and you guys, your generation, are going to be the ones that are going to go to Mars. Right now, our engines are a little bit slow, so it takes about 6 months to get there, and then you'd stay there a year, a little over a year, and come back 6 months. So it's 2.5 to almost 3 years that you would be gone from home. If we can develop a little bit faster engines, we'll get there and back a lot quicker, and more people can go. So I'm excited to just help make all the infrastructure so that your generation can do the exploring.
Pretty cool. Thank you. Okay. Next, we have Musa Zigley.
What cool things do you see in space that you do not see in Earth?
Oh my gosh, it's almost everything. You know, when you look outside, it's great because you get to see the Earth. It is so beautiful. The stars. Peggy and I, during a night pass the other day, actually saw a galaxy with the naked eye. So what you see is great. And then how everything behaves. I brought something for you. Even a slinky, just an ordinary slinky, it becomes almost alive in space. It just, the way everything behaves, from your coffee to slinkies to everything, is just plain cool.
That's cool, right? Yeah. All right, thank you. Next, we have Clara Kiker.
What are some of the most surprising personal adjustments did you or other astronauts face when beginning a stint in the ISS?
Well, so, you know, since the blood doesn't want to stay in your feet anymore like normal, you know, pulling down by gravity, then some people get congestion. We can even have vision problems because there's so much blood in your head, it kind of squishes the eyeball. Other people get, you know, an upset stomach, or, you know, their head kind of spins. I was lucky I didn't have any of those things, but you also have to learn how to fly, and you tend to run into things. So I have plenty of bumps from not doing so good at that at the start. And you got to get used to losing things because they just float away if they're not strapped down. So those are the biggest things that you need to get used to.
Great. All right, next on the mic we have Janiyah Greer.
Would you like to go to the moon?
Oh man, would I? That would be so cool. I think that the Apollo astronauts just scratched the surface with that program, and I think there's so much more we could learn. The moon's kind of like a time capsule for our solar system, and we could learn so much, and there's so many resources there. And if we can go back, then we can build up an infrastructure so that we can get to Mars even better.
Great, thanks. Okay, Madeline Martin. Come on down.
How long can you breathe in space with your oxygen tank?
That's a good question. So when we go outside on a spacewalk, we're in basically a little spaceship called an EMU, and inside that it has tanks that can last somewhere around 7 hours, maybe more, maybe less. It depends on how quick you're breathing. And then we have a reserve tank just in case you punch a hole or something goes wrong with your main system that can last about 30 minutes.
Great. Okay. Nevaeh Bradley.
What do you eat? Is there a certain diet?
There isn't. There probably should be because I probably am not eating the best stuff. But we tend to try to avoid sodium because it's kind of bad for us and how we rehab when we get back on the ground. And then we need to focus on vitamin D, so we have to have that or we'll have a lot of bone loss. But most of the food is pretty darn good. And if it's not, you can just squirt some hot sauce on it, and then it's even better.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have Nariah Bradley.
Have you seen a shooting star? If you have, what does it look like up close?
Well, if we saw it up close, it'd be kind of a bad day. When we see it, actually, Peggy and I saw one just the other day out of the cupola, our big set of windows, and it looked pretty much the same as it does on the ground. So you see the big fiery trail, it lights up, and then it goes away. So it's pretty much the same. If we were close to it, it'd be bad because all the little parts breaking off of it would probably punch holes in the space station, and that wouldn't be good for us.
Okay. Naomi Fillmore.
How do you sleep?
It's totally weird. So we have a sleeping bag that we strap to the wall. So we're hanging up, well, it depends which crew quarters you're in, which direction. But you basically strap yourself to the wall. You get in the sleeping bag so you don't float around and bump into things during the night. And some people even strap a pillow to their head just because they miss that feeling. I don't seem to mind. And as far as how comfortable it is, it's like the best mattress you ever had. It's like floating on air because you are.
All right. Emily Tong.
Because water floats in space, how do you wash up? Do you have a bathtub or a shower?
We don't have either one. And I was kind of worried when I came up here. I was like, I think I'm going to get kind of nasty without a shower for that long. But it's not so bad. So they have these things in little kind of freeze-dried looking packets that we put water in, and we put hot water in, which is totally cool because it's like having a hot shower. And then these towels, when you unfold them, see how they're extra long? So that's so you can go behind your back and get your back, rub all, pretty much, you take a sponge bath with a super towel, and it's warm, and it has a little soap already in the towel, so you get clean, and it's pretty good. You actually don't stink so bad.
Thank you. Okay, Brianna White.
How long did you have to stay in school to become an astronaut?
Well, I think I still am in school. I pretty much you never stop learning. Most of the astronauts have advanced degrees, so they did high school and college and then did some more. But if you want to be an astronaut, you really you need to find what you truly love and work really hard at it. And you have to open your mind to continually learn and get better. I've never stopped doing that, and I don't plan on ever stopping.
Thank you. Next, we have Emily Athey.
Do the astronauts ever get sick since they shouldn't be exposed to germs up there?
That's a great question. It's pretty darn rare. because there shouldn't be germs up here. Every now and again, there's been people who broke what we call quarantine, where we kind of keep the crew isolated right before launch, or someone had a cold or something and they were inside among the people during quarantine, and then that came up to the station. But for the most part, it's very rare. We keep pretty darn healthy. We can't really take sick days, so we got to keep healthy, and typically we do.
Thank you. Okay, this is Abigail Smith.
What do you do when you're not in space?
Well, so astronauts, generally there are 4 big things. We're training for the next mission, building that experience base to make sure we have the skills. We're working on the next generation of vehicles. We're helping with the operations, like working as a Capcom, the person in mission control who talks to the astronauts, or just going to meetings to support those operations. And then my favorite is going and talking to the public and to students to inform them about what we're doing and to inspire.
All right, and Joshua Smith.
What is one thing you were not prepared for as an astronaut?
Man, Josh, the one thing I wasn't prepared for is how much darn fun it is, because you're just flying all the time. All the work is so fun. It's like being 12 again, just like you. And I wasn't expecting that. I think pretty much everything I'm doing on the station is exciting. It's interesting, especially the science, because you really feel like you're making a difference. And it sure is fun to fly around.
Next, we have Sage Martin.
What are you currently reading?
Well, so up here, I'm reading a little book that one of the astronauts put together, Don Pettit, on how to take pictures in space, so I can get better at taking pictures in space. Other than that, I just read the procedures and the materials for the next day or the week of what I'm going to be doing. And, there's a lot of stuff that we need to look at and keep up with. As far as reading a book, I think I'll do that when I get home and I don't have such a great view to look out the window at.
Next, we have Izan Charanya.
What are your 3 favorite things to do when you're in space?
Good question. I love eating my food because I get to play with it and it floats and there's little orbs and it's just wonderful. I love looking out the window and taking pictures. And I love doing the science on the space station because every single day I feel so good that we are one small part in this huge team trying to discover new things. And I love being a part of that.
Next, we have Maria Berduo.
What people and space vehicles have you flown into outer space?
Well, that's a pretty short answer because this is my first flight to space. I flew up on a Soyuz rocket and a Soyuz vehicle with my friend and Commander Fyodor Yurchikhin. And then we're getting lucky because we get to fly home with another friend, Peggy Whitson, who's been up here for quite a long time. She's actually been in space longer than any other American. That's pretty cool.
Next, we have Arsh Salim.
Communication between Earth and the space station only has a few seconds of delay. How will communication systems change as you explore deep space?
Well, so communication, we can't go any faster than the speed of light. So as we go further and further, like to Mars, we're going to have big delays on the order of minutes. And so you're not going to have the instant communication, kind of like we're having now, or texting or tweeting or whatever. We're going to have to be more more forethought in our communication. We'll have to prepare things, and then the crew is just going to have to be more autonomous in handling problems and doing the daily tasks that we need to get done.
Okay, next on the mic we have Cameron Watson.
What kind of weather do you see when it's around Earth?
What kind of, I'm sorry, I missed that one.
She asked, what kind of weather do you see when observing Earth?
I'm sorry. I have old pilot ears. They don't work so good. We see everything. We see thunderstorms. We see sunny skies, hurricanes. We see it all. In fact, I think lightning is one of the coolest things when you see a thunderstorm because you see it going between clouds and over cloud. It's really, really cool.
And now we have David Bradley.
Is it true that time is slower in space?
Well, buddy, the theory is that as you get going as fast as the speed of light, then time would slow down. But we aren't anywhere near that. We're going pretty fast, 17,500 miles an hour, but nowhere near the speed of light. So we're just the same time as you.
And I'm going to ask a question on behalf of Emerson Drake. What method of oxygen creation do you use? How much water is needed? And how much does it yield?
Boy, I know, well, we use both our oxygen generation systems use electrolysis, so we use electric current to separate water into hydrogen and oxygen. As far as the amounts we need and how much it produces, I'm not sure. I know that it produces enough because I'm still breathing, but I'm not positive on exact numbers. Sorry about that.
Well, great. I know that I personally, and as far as everyone here, want to thank you so much for sharing your time with us and for inspiring our students to get involved in these STEM fields. You know, it's been really exciting. I think we're all really excited to be able to talk to you out here. Hello, Jack. He has flipped out. Whoa. Good job. We're very excited that you're here, Jack. We were expecting 200, 300, or 400, and I think we made that expectation. We thank you so very much for being present here at Fayette County, the Fayette County Public Library, and yes, we are the best in the universe. We want to thank all our VIPs. Their names have already been called. We want to thank Niagara Water. We so appreciate everything. Outside, Jack, we'll be eating hot dogs. What else we have? Popcorn and a lot of other great things. Next door, we have the Fern Bank. Again, thank you so very much. And let me give you, and I want you to give a huge shout out for our IT department who put all of this together for us.
Well, absolutely. Congratulations to everybody, and thanks for letting me be a part of this event. And, man, I wish I could go outside and have a hot dog.
Well, again, thank you. And you want to hear another huge shout out? Let's hear it.